Welcome back to Painting and Decorating. It's that time of year where it's starting to go cold and you've got to start thinking of protecting your paint and your materials. If you leave your stuff in your car, basically water-based materials, oil's not too bad. If you start leaving your stuff in the car or your van and it goes cold, below, freezing, and you've left it in there for 2 days, chances are it's just going to freeze and you'll come to it and it'll be no good. Even in a shed like this, if you get a few days of frost, then your water-based paints and your water-based materials are probably going to perish in the shed. So you're best keeping them warm. Now, if I'm working on a job, I always like to take my paints out my car or my van and get them on the job as soon as I can, so they're actually coming to the temperature of the room you're working in. Makes it a lot easier. There's no point in getting a cold tin of oil gloss out of your car, taking it in and it's freezing. It takes ages to warm it up. It never is the right consistency once it's cold. It's got to be room temperature paint. And then when it comes to storing your paint, you can always tell when it's gone bad. You'll pop the lid off. It's usually discoloured slightly on top and you'll get an odour straight away. It smells bad. That's the usual signs that it's gone. Sometimes you'll pop the lids off, and this is when they've been stood for a while and the paints separate, all the layers, all the material in it, sediment, all separates, so you end up with a liquid on top, and some people think the paint's bad at that point. Chances are it's not, so give it a good stir up, give it a smell, and if it smells okay, then usually it's fine. I was on a job the other day. A customer said, "I've got the emulsion here for the ceiling." I said, "Brilliant, no problem." And when I come to open it, there was a liquid on top, but I gave it a good stir up and it was fine. So I did a small video of that. I'll show you that in a sec. So that's it for the end of this video. Make sure you look after your paint, because the expense of it now is it's unreal. It's gone beyond a joke, to be fair, on some of the paints. So you really have got to watch out for them. Actually, just adding one note to that is thinning your paint with water. Now, once you've thinned your paint with water, that paint then is contaminated. It will eventually, a week, 2 weeks, it'll start smelling funny if left, and that's because of the water adding bacteria to it or whatever. It just goes off like stinky water. So if you're gonna add water to your paint, always make sure you try and use it up and you're not actually storing it, because that's the worst thing you can do.